Hi, everybody. Welcome to Queers and Soaps. My name is Derek, and today I'm joined by Karen. And we are here to discuss what's happening on General Hospital. We are discussing the week of April 7th to April 11th, 2025. Tommy will roll the credits, and we will get right into it. Pretty crazy week.
Yes, we were like, oh, they're taking it easy last week, and now we know why, because they were saving it for this week.
A roller coaster ride. It was this week. All right, well, we'll start with Anna. Brennan warns Anna that 88 Turner is after her because she requested all the files on her from the WSB, but she couldn't get much because most of it was classified. Anna confronts Turner, and she does not like the fact that she is coddling Jason, and Anna later meets Jason and tells them they have to meet in secret. They can't be seen together. So Jason says they should meet at Bobby's where no one can see them. But I feel like Bobby's is a really popular place.
Let's meet at the center of town where everyone goes.
Exactly. It sounds like a great plan.
If it's up in his room, isn't he even worse? Because it's like, why is the police commissioner going to a known mobster?
Doesn't he live at the Quartermaines now anyway?
He does, but I think he still has that room above Bobby's / Kelly's.
Right. Okay.
I'm just gonna mention really quickly that I thought Anna's like kind of purpley blouse was really pretty, and her hair looked great.
Oh yeah, she always looks good.
She does, but she looked particularly good in that outfit, and I'm always going to call it out when the stylists do a great job on the show, and they do.
And while we're talking about Anna, I don't want to forget to mention that April 10th was her 40-year anniversary of the role of Anna. So congratulations to Finola Hughes. That's a great accomplishment.
And why? Why are we not celebrating that with a special Anna episode?
Right? They should be.
Give her a storyline that's amazing, not just being a grandma to the future WSB agents.
Yes. We're going to talk about that. Okay, so Josh is back from Easter Island. She shows up back at Carly's, and she shows Jason.
Easter Island.
Easter Island in quotations, yes. So she shows Jason and Carly pictures, but she is not in any of them, and Jason is kind of suspicious about this. So we start quizzing Jocelyn about Easter Island, but she answers everything correctly, but he's still a little, suspicious.
Well, because she was completely thrown off when he goes, she's like, have you been there? And he's like, yeah, of course I've been there. Have you gone to this place and this place? And I would have just been like, no, I didn't go there. Oh, I totally missed that.
Yeah, I mean, you would think her training would entail a crash course.
What is her training? Her training is being called a loser by Vaughn 400 times in a row until she kicks him in the junk. Every week, that's all we've seen. I hate Vaughn.
Dex 2.0. Yes.
No, I liked Dex. I do not like Vaughn.
I meant appearance-wise, not necessarily
just another blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy.
Yeah. So Brennan comes in and interrupts, and Josh comes at him about the polonium poisoning, and this was really funny. He praised her for, nice cover, and she goes, well, I was actually really pissed off.
Not a cover guy.
Right? So Lucy visits with Trina and Kai and tries to rope them into getting involved with the nurses' ball. Trina is reluctant, but Kai agrees, and then Trina decides to change her mind.
Well, it's still kind of a sore spot for her because she used to do all that stuff with Spencer, and he's died. And this is only really last year we didn't do it, so this year is the first one she would be doing without him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. True. So Lucas is visiting with Liz, and I really like their dynamic. It's really cute. I like how their friendship. I like how they support each other. It's really, really nice.
They support each other's wrongs, and I like that about them.
So then Ava pops in and starts asking Elizabeth questions about the crash. Liz thinks Ava's just there to, stake her claim on Rick.
Yeah,
Lucy would be there.
Not wrong.
Right. And then Lucy comes in and tries to recruit Lucas and Liz for the nurses' ball. Lucas says he'll help, but he doesn't want to perform. And Lucy promises, but she crosses her fingers behind her back.
Also, we get the fun of the Magic Milo reference when they did the show with Milo. I think they did it twice where the boys stripped down for the
why wouldn't Lucas want to perform? He did that whole number with them.
Because it's a different actor and he might not be able to sing or dance, or he might not want to strip him, because he did mention that he can't sing. Now, whether or not he can in real life, Lucas is unwilling to perform. So I guess what I think is going to happen for him is he's probably going to take the Amy spot where you're the one that like helps Lucy get ready, because I think he has the personality for it.
Yeah, that would be good. He would be good at that.
And he would give her a hard time, which is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. Molly is visiting with Rick, and he remembers Christina being at the scene of the accident. Molly thinks that perhaps he hit black ice, and that's why he crashed. No, Molly, that's not why he crashed.
Molly.
Ava later comes in and tells him that it wasn't an accident and the brakes were cut. I love when she said that little witch tried to kill me. And then she tells, and then Rick's like, "Oh, let's go to the police." Like,
well, Rick is like upset because Elizabeth was in the car and Christina unhinged, and Rick is like, she's escalating, because each of these scenarios, she's escalating and she's going to kill someone, and we need to turn her into the cops. And Ava's like, not so fast.
Let's not be too hasty.
Yeah.
I thought that delivery was great. Mara,
hang on, how can this benefit me?
Yeah. Okay, so this scene really, really annoyed me, and we talked about this earlier this week. Lucky lashes out at Christina for causing the accident and hurting Elizabeth. I couldn't believe this whole scene. I was just like, really? Is this really happening right now?
I was losing my mind, because at the beginning of the scene when he's telling her off, I'm like, yes, finally, someone's holding her accountable. And then she was like, I didn't do it. Ava made me do it. And I was like, I cannot take this anymore. And Lucky was like, you can't blame everything on Ava. And I was getting ready to be really excited. And then the second half of the conversation happened.
Yes. Christina's rationalizations and manipulations just kept going and going. And then when she brought up Sam, that really pissed me off.
Yeah. Now she's using dead sister as clout. I get it.
Using her dead sister as clout. And I wasn't happy about it. And then now Lucky's going to cover for her. I'm not into it.
I hate it because it puts Lucky in a really bad position with Elizabeth. And it moves Rick into a much better position, which I'm not so unhappy about. I do love Rick.
It's just, I need a Christina break. I told you. I'm just like not.
I know, you're kind of over her. Now, I like that she's getting more and more unhinged as we go along, because I saw a lot earlier on, and a lot of people did, that she's losing it and that she is escalating. And it was nice to see Ava and Rick kind of acknowledge that that's where we're going. We're going towards her murdering somebody, whether it's Ava or it's accidentally someone close to Ava, which is what just nearly happened. And then for Lucky to be like, I guess you living with the guilt of that will be enough of a punishment. I'm like, Lucky, if she could feel guilt or accountability for anything, you might be right. But in this case, she can't. She thinks everything that's ever happened bad to her in her entire life is now Ava's fault. And she will 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon everything back to Ava, no matter what she did.
Yeah. And then she further annoyed me when she apologizes to Molly for everything. And it was just like, this apology is so fake. I can't even stand it.
It's not that it's fake. It's that she's using that apology to apologize for what she just did. So it's not genuine because it's about something completely different.
Right.
And she's just assuaging her own guilt without actually taking accountability for anything again.
Yeah, I would love to hear that apology if it was real, if it was coming, like she was actually apologizing for that. I've been waiting for that, but it's not.
I don't think she can right now. I think she is a little too out of touch with reality, and I don't blame anyone but her, really. But I do kind of put a lot of like secondary blame on Alexis and Sonny, and even Lucky for making excuses for her and allowing her to get away with like being crazier and crazier and not getting her help.
Right.
Also, by the way, this is the same thing that Ava said when she messed with Morgan's drugs. And Sonny got into the fight, and she looked at Sonny and she said, "You were his parents. I thought you would notice."
Right.
And it feels like the same thing again. Like the child is in crisis and the parents are not.
They're not doing anything.
If we're noticing, they're not doing what they should do. So like this week kind of went good for me on at least one parent.
Right. And I do want to point out that Christina never said she was wrong for wanting to keep the baby. So she didn't apologize for that.
She calls that baby Adela one more time.
But Alexis is on cloud 9 right now because her daughters are getting along, and that's like what she is all about: family, loyalty, and loving each other.
Okay. Look, Alexis had a rough childhood. She's going to take the scraps where she can get them.
I know. So Lucky pays a visit to the mechanic, and he finds out that the car has been demolished and there's nothing else to do. So,
except it hasn't, because Ava got there first.
Right. But, okay, so isn't the mechanic obligated to report this to the police if it was, the brakes were tampered with? That's what I was wondering.
I mean, I don't know what kind of oath the mechanics take. I don't know. I would assume that, like, you would have to call the police and be like, "Hey, guys, this is suspicious."
And Ava doesn't have any money. What's she bribing the mechanic with?
With Nina's money, probably.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, well, Lois is back from Bensonhurst, and Olivia surprises Brooklyn with Lois. Olivia realizes there's still some unresolved issues between the two of them, and Olivia tells Lois that she can confide in her, that she's her best friend. Yeah, it just makes me more sad about the Gia revelation eventually coming out.
Yeah, it's going to wreck a lot of long-term friendships for no reason, because the whole Gia reveal didn't need to happen. This storyline didn't need to happen. It's not really that interesting for the fallout it's going to cause. No offense to Gio. They could have just brought him on as someone else. I actually starting to think that Gio's character is becoming more interesting the more he's involved with Emma. But the whole familial connection thing, I don't care.
Right. So Chase urges Brooklyn to forgive her mother. They do make up because Brooklyn now understands that Lois needed someone to confide in, and Lois confided in her mother.
Mm-hmm.
So Lulu admits to Cody that she played him, and then Dante appears and she confronts him about keeping his past a secret with Brooklyn. Something had happened 20 years ago. That's retconned. But
yeah, sure.
It's just Lulu's living in the past as usual and repeating the same dialogue as usual.
I think I texted you that in the middle of the week. I was just like, listen, they've got to write her at least 2 new lines. This is too much of the same stuff.
Yeah. I did love when Cody confronted Lulu and he didn't accept her apology. That was really
apology not accepted. Fix this mess.
Right? I love that.
Cody was really great. I loved him.
Yeah.
They're starting to show chemistry between him and Lulu, so maybe she'll just take a break from that nonsense and date someone else.
Right. And Lulu did come clean with him about realizing that she was still in love with Dante the night of the floating room explosion.
We all knew that.
Cody then did praise her for not telling Dante and giving him time to grieve Sam. So.
Yeah, it's weird because for her, none of that ever happened. Like, she never saw Dante move on with Sam or the life they built together with the kids. So for her, it's just like they were working their way back towards each other. She had gotten rid of Dustin, and then Dustin died, right? He died. And then she was like, I didn't even care that he died, basically, because I'm in love with Dante. And I was like, okay, you're awesome. So awesome. And now she just wants everything to go back to the way it is in her head. But that was like 4 years ago.
Exactly. Well, like I said when we were texting, Lou lives in like 20 years ago. Like, she's not even She's living in like the 2000s.
It's really strange to churn all of this up again. It just feels very artificial. It feels very forced, and it feels a little like, I don't know, maybe Lulu has a little brain damage from the coma, because like you said, like it's so much living in what already happened, and she could be focusing on her children right now instead of the guy she was in love with and had already broken up with in the past before she went into the coma.
Yeah.
Build a friendship with the guy first. Dang.
Right. Exactly. Diane is happy to see Alexis happy because things are good between Molly and Christina again. And Alexis interviews Marco for a position at the firm and tells him he should expect an offer soon. Christina arrives at General Hospital with flowers for Liz. She thanks her for helping her when she lost her baby, Adela. I think she called Adela by the name again. No. Stop calling her Adela, please.
How can any conversation you have with Molly be genuine when you keep calling the baby Adela? Couldn't you have just called it Baby Davidson and then not do this every time, or just the baby?
The baby. Well, when she apologized to Molly, she said the baby. But
yeah, because she was like, the baby Adela, my baby that I was keeping.
Right, exactly. The baby I was gonna keep as my own, and whatever.
And screw you and TJ over. And by the way, I destroyed your relationship with TJ as a byproduct of everything I did. Awesome. I'm amazing.
Lucky comes in with baked goods from Aiden, and Liz is really excited about this. And then after they leave the room, Lucky tells Christina that she should be in the clear because the car has been demolished, and he doesn't think anything's taken.
It is funny though, because Elizabeth is like, "Is that contraband?
Yeah,
bring it to me."
I forget what they were. Were they cookies or they cupcakes? I don't remember.
I don't know. There are a bunch of pastries because she said that she specifically told Aiden not to bake them. And Lucky was like, well, he did anyway. And she's like, I'm so glad he did. Bring them to me.
Yes. Okay, so Ava tells Rick of her blackmail scheme. She's going to blackmail Alexis for the cast setting money. Well, who said that last week? Your mom and me.
I know. Yes. When Derek and my mom agree, it almost always happens.
Yes. Rick agrees to keep quiet. He does want justice for Liz, and he wants Christina, to pay because she's off her rocker right now. She's insane.
But he wants to protect Molly.
Yes, but he doesn't want Molly to know because he knows Molly's not going to be, not going to take it well. Of course, that's an understatement.
Listen, I like that they're showing his care and consideration for Molly. He is trying his best to be her father.
I do love how much Rick loves his daughter. I really do. Rick and Liz finally see each other, and he's relieved to see that she's okay, but he does lie to her about... He
just basically agrees with her black ice theory.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Ava arrives at Alexis' office and tells her that Christina tried to kill her. And this is a really great scene. She plays the video of Christina with wire cutters. Ava wants her Cassadine money, and she has till 9 a.m. to decide. Alexis tells her this evidence is circumstantial at best, and Ava says she's just going to go straight to Molly then.
No, she tried really hard. You have to give it to Nancy Lee Grahn. This was a great scene for her. Her facial expressions throughout this entire interchange, amazing.
You did all the acting for her.
Yeah, Barbara West was just enjoying herself. Like, it looked like Ava was just having the time of her life being horrible, and it's so funny. I love it. But yeah, she knew exactly what Alexis was going to say. She's like, oh yeah, it's circumstantial, so I'm not going to do that, blah, blah, blah. And she's just like, okay, fine. Then I'll present it all to Molly and we'll see what happens.
And she knows that her daughter's relationships are very important to her. So that was a great, hit. Great here. Yeah.
It was definitely a win. Definitely a win. I like the way that was handled.
Yes. Jordan reminds Isaiah that they need to be discreet when they're together. She gets a text from Sidwell asking to see her. So she goes to see Sidwell, and Sidwell pitches her a position with his business. I think
he's a lobbyist.
Yeah. for his businesses. And you think he's bringing his businesses to the U.S. now. So Jordan turns him down and says that she's happy as a deputy mayor. But later she tells Isaiah that she has him right where she wants him. So,
which Isaiah is not happy about because he thinks this is too dangerous and he doesn't want her involved, blah, blah, blah.
Right, exactly. Okay, so speaking of that, we'll get into Laura. Ezra is going after Laura, so she and Curtis conjure up a plan that she's going to give the Esplanade vote to the public, so she's free and clear, and she doesn't look like she's favoring Sonny.
I still feel like Laura comes off a little bit out of character in the beginning of the scene when she's like, I'm not going to hide my friendship with Sonny and all this, blah, blah, blah. It just, sorry, I keep saying that. I'm like, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, like, I didn't like that. I felt like it was wrong. It didn't vibe with me. And Curtis was like the person who had the concern that Laura would have in this scene. So I like that Curtis got to be like, listen, stop not taking this seriously. Your career is at stake.
Yeah.
And he actually talked her into it. And that was smart because now it can't be seen as her giving consideration to Sonny. It's the public will make the decision.
Exactly. So he's very smart with that, Curtis.
There's a lot going around right now where everybody is trying to hold people's feet to the fire for being friends with Sonny, which is entirely the opposite of like last year where everyone was anti-Sonny. Like, why are we yo-yo swinging back and forth with this?
I had this thought. Maybe that's because Maurice Bernard was thinking about leaving, and then he decided.
We say that every 5 minutes, and I think Maurice Bernard should stay, and people leave him alone. He's staying.
Well, okay. So Jordan and Laura conjure up a plan as well to make it seem like Jordan is fired, and Jordan go work with Sidwell. They're going to use Laura's support as a ruse. So she can go work. Laura's support for Sonny, so she can go to work for Sidwell. So yeah, okay.
And Jeannie, like Laura, was like, "Are you sure you want to do all this? Because like it's dangerous." And she's like, "Yeah." And then of course Laura gets right on board and gets excited about the plan.
Yeah.
Once an adventurer, always an adventurer.
All right. I only want to touch briefly on this because it upset me. But
okay.
Marco and Natalia. Yeah, Natalia is still homophobic.
Yeah,
I think Marco is wasting his talents as a lawyer. He apparently used to perform, and he was very talented. And Natalia's
someone they're wasting their talents as a lawyer.
Yeah, I'm like,
parents would cry with joy if their son or daughter came home and was like, their child was just like, I'm going to be a lawyer. And they would cry real tears of rage if their child came home and said, I'm going to start a band with my friends.
But not Natalia. Natalia, you know.
Don't be in the performing arts.
Yeah, I mean.
I love the performing arts. Lawyering is such a waste.
So Sonny also saw Natalia with Sidwell earlier, and he confronts her about this. And Natalia admits that they used to be married. Sonny tells her that he doesn't want to be associated with her because now he can't trust her. So.
Yep, Sonny's infamous code where no one gets the benefit of the doubt but him, and no one has trust but him, and if you break his trust, he's going to cut you off. He almost seemed a little apologetic about it, but I don't feel bad for Natalia because Marco was just like, you ruined our family because of your attitudes, which is just, he calls her out for being homophobic. And it was, it was upsetting. And even Sidwell looked better in this scene than she did. And he's a horrible person who blows people up. And he was like, how can you not accept our son for who he is?
He's more tolerant.
We got to choose our battles wisely. And we've chosen to hate Natalia. And so far, we've been correct.
Yes.
It was upsetting. I get it. I don't like that this keeps coming up. If she's not going to go to therapy to get over it, and this isn't going to be a storyline about her growing up and realizing that people are different and she needs to accept that, why do we keep bringing it up?
And especially she has 2 kids that are part of the LGBT community, so she needs to, let it go.
She just needs to learn. And I thought she was, even though they touched on it kind of lamely when she talked to Sonny that one time, and Sonny's just like, your kids are your kids, you just love them. Which again, here's another mobster who's just fine. and she just can't handle it. And it's like, maybe they should have made her like super religious to make it harder on her or something. But it just seems like she woke up and she said, musical performances are great, but being gay is bad. And it's like, but and being a lawyer is horrible. You've ruined the family.
How dare you be a lawyer? How dare you?
Me. She can.
All right, so Sonny and Christina meet with Dante, and he tells Dante about his heart condition and he's having surgery in California in a month. I believe it was a month, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, let's have this conversation about how your enemies will find out that you're weak in public.
Right, yeah.
At a restaurant where anyone can overhear you.
Perfect. Right, exactly.
Perfect timing. That would have been a dinner at your house conversation.
Absolutely.
Just have it at Bobby's. Just stand outside and shout it. No one's at Bobby's.
Where everyone is in town. Perfect.
Hey, yeah.
Emma and Joss have an interesting scene together. Joss thanked Emma for standing up at the crypt for Michael, and Joss and Emma are both enrolled in the same environmental physics class. Yep. And Joss gets her first WSB assignment. She's going to be cozying up to this Professor Dalton. So I have some speculation about this, and I'm sure you do as well. So we'll talk about
speculation. That. I don't care about speculation. Joss was super nice to her and thanked her for all her help. She walked out of the room, and Emma immediately started talking crap on her name.
That's true.
And for stuff that happened when Emma was 8.
Yes.
And then she was like rolling it into like Cameron being cheated on, and it's like, yeah. Cameron and Joss were involved in like revenge porn and their relationship didn't survive it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, Emma, you weren't even in town.
No, you were too busy doing, and we'll get into that later.
We'll get into
that. Okay, so the moving crew is trying to move things from the gatehouse to Drew's, and Tracy shuts them down. So Jason wants to tell Willow that she can't move in with Drew, and it's a bad idea. Sasha tells him to let Willow think she's won. It's pointless because she's under the spell of the dawn of Drew now.
Oh, get over it, man.
It's a clue, okay?
It's not. Oh my God! If this storyline turns out the way you want it to, I'm going to be so annoyed.
I don't want it to. I'm just saying. I think that's where they're going, but I don't like it. I think it's too stupid.
It's very stupid.
Okay. Tracy arrives at the Metro Court late for a deception meeting because it's already in progress.
Funny, Maxie and Lucy and Sidwell are all there, and they've got the paperwork, and they're all ready to sign, and they're waiting on Tracy.
Yeah.
And they've been kind of like talking around the issue, and Sidwell's just like, are we signing or are we signing? Tracy walks right past the table.
And she goes straight to Carly and tells her that Willow and Drew are moving in together, and Carly is livid, of course.
Of course.
Tracy tried to shut down the deal with Sidwell because of what happened with Lucky, because Lulu has confided in her about this. But
not only that, she's right.
Yeah. But Lucy, of course, persists, and she gets her way. So,
well, because Lucy realizes that for the business they need the zinc guide or whatever it is.
The zinc guide that Erica King was supposed to get, and is going to be really upset about.
Susan Lucci, will you come on just one day? One day, take a long weekend. Come on the show.
Yeah, why not? It'd be fun to see her.
I love Erica King.
At Drew's, Nina shows up and suggests that Willow arrange visits for the kids with Monica so she can keep peace between the two of them. Carly then shows up, and Wiley is excited to see his grandma, but Carly says she cannot wait to come over. She couldn't wait to come over and talk to her mommy. But we'll get into the rest of that in a minute. Curtis and Portia talk about Drew and his agenda. Portia thinks the surgery is a good option for Kai, because I'm sure Drew told her to say that.
I don't know. I don't think she feels she can disagree with him on anything right now. But she did review the surgery, and she did think there was some merit in it. I think it's nefarious, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. Kai tells Trina that he's going to move ahead with the procedure. Trina's still a little suspicious about Drew's motives.
Oh, she's smart.
And she tries to be supportive, though. Portia then summons Brad to her office and orders her to dig up all of Drew's medical files, screenings, and test results, and even going back to the days as Jake Doe. So
Harry Shannon is so funny in this scene when he comes in and he sits down and she keeps ordering him around, and he's like, "I liked it better when I was blackmailing you."
Yeah, that was really funny.
And she's like, "Either do it or you're fired." So
I own you now.
Yeah, I love this, by the way. Lean into it, Portia. Doing a great job.
Yeah.
This is so much more interesting for Portia. I'm so proud. I love it.
I think her character has completely done a 180, and I absolutely.
She was being wasted. She was whiny and annoying and like just languishing in the background. And now she's in this storyline and she just sparkles. And I'm really having a fun time with her.
She's having a great arc in this one for sure. Curtis then bumps into Kai, who tells him that he's going to go through the procedure. Curtis admonishes him not to trust Drew because Drew is going to want a favor in return. And he is right about that.
Your basic devil's pact.
All right, so Anna uncovers the records from the WSB about Emma. Emma was caught breaking into an animal testing lab, and she assaulted a security guard with a crowbar.
Accidentally.
And then the university covered it up and used the party as the cover story. So
yeah, they covered up the fact that they were doing unsanctioned animal testing, and Emma and her friends used a huge party to break in so that they could release the animals. A security guard was injured, and everything was hushed up.
Right.
And she was expelled. And I don't know, man. I felt like Anna was kind of like, she was being such a parent in that moment. And then Emma was just like, yeah, but you did all this stuff and crazier when you were my age, and I'm going to do whatever I think is right. And then Anna was kind of like, I can't really say no to that because that's kind of how I live my life.
Right, that was her life.
And they even kind of like allude to the fact that Emma's like, my parents follow the rules. They do everything right. And they think that's going to change the world. And they're wrong. And she's right. They are wrong. Like at this point, we've all learned that doing the right thing doesn't really get you anywhere in the soap world. So I love this. I thought it was a fun interaction.
Yeah, I agree.
I thought Anna finally understood Emma a little better, even though she was still kind of being like, yeah, well, what you did was bad because somebody got hurt. And then she kind of said like, it was bad, but only because you didn't have a backup and a backup plan. So
right.
Plan better in the future. Don't stop doing capers.
Right. Okay, so Alexis consults with Diana as her lawyer. Alexis tells her that Christina engineered the accident that ended up injuring Rick and Liz. Diane says that Christina is looking at serious prison time for this.
15 to 20.
15 to 20, yeah.
For attempted murder.
3 attempted murders.
3.
Ava, Rick, and Liz.
Yeah, your intended victim plus the 2 unintended victims. That's 3 counts.
Yes.
And premeditated because she grabbed the cutters and cut the wires and left.
She's going to prison for a very long time.
Yup.
Diane suggests that Alexis have Christina committed. This scene was great. Nancy Lingeron killed it again in this scene, and she goes ahead and tells Diane to draw up the papers, which I was surprised about, but I'm glad she did it.
It took Diane a while to talk her into it, but Diane talked her into it by laying out facts, like kind of coldly, and saying like, this is your game. This is the only game plan you have is a couple months in Ferncliff or 15 to 20 in prison.
And I thought it was great because Diane was really acting as her lawyer and not her friend in these moments.
I think she was both.
She was both, but I feel like she was very matter of fact about it. Like she didn't let her personal feelings get in the way.
I think she understood that that's the only way you're gonna be able to get this through to Alexis right now, because Alexis. It's funny because she even pointed it out. She's like, you've gotten in trouble for covering up for Christina. You know, Sonny's almost gotten in trouble for covering up for Christina. When does it end?
Yeah.
Well, like we've all been saying, even Lucky's covering up for Christina right now. Like, how many more people can she pull into this nonsense?
Yeah. All right. Do you have anything to add before we get into the conversation?
I hate Vaughn. I hate Vaughn. Every time Vaughn is on, I hate him. He's so boring and he's mean, and I don't get the point of him. Like, if he was supposed to be charming, like WSB agents are usually suave. They're like charming people. He's just like I don't think you can do anything. And then she does stuff, and he's like, I still don't think you could do anything. You should go home. And it's just like, ugh. And then he was like, you're not really a college student anymore. You're a WSB agent. I'm like, go away.
Yeah, we need some time with Vaughn.
Robert was a WSB agent, and he was suave as all get out. Like, he was always good. We had Connie. Connie's in the 80s. You would love her. So Connie was like an amazing WSB agent, and like she was very charming and all this. And this guy, he just has the charm of like a bag of rocks. He's boring. I hate him.
Yeah, the only Connie I know is Connie Falconeri.
No, not which never liked Connie Falconeri.
Not a great character, but
no, her name was. She was a WSB agent. She was on during the Grant Putnam Celia era.
I have heard of Grant Putnam. Yeah,
I know because I won't stop talking about Celia.
Okay, so Carly has arrived at Drew's, and Carly and Willow have a very epic confrontation.
Poor Nina.
I know. Poor Nina.
I never thought I would say that, but Nina is just flabbergasted. She does not know what to do.
She doesn't know what to do, so she takes the kids to watch a movie.
She moves them out of the line of fire.
Exactly. So these are the things that I love the most about it, and I'll let you talk about what you loved about it. But when Carly says that Drew has so many different personas, she doesn't know who he is anymore. And I love when she laid into Willow and said that Wiley is not yours.
Well, she said, my kids. And she's like, kid. One kid. Yeah. She's like, you're only the mother to two because Michael allowed you to become the mother to both.
Right.
Which was kind of rude and cruel, but pointed.
It was warranted in my opinion. Willow needs a wake-up call.
I don't think she does. I think she showed that she was very on board with whatever was happening in that scene. Mm-hmm. She was showing a very vicious side during that whole argument.
Yeah. I also love when Carly compared Willow to Nell. You're just like your sister.
That was fun to drop that line into the middle of the room like that.
And you know what's funny? I don't think they ever have said that Willow and Nell are sisters. They've never said that sentence before, even though we know they're sisters.
They do, but they're kind of indirect about it most of the time.
Right.
I was really thinking that right before Carly said that because of how Willow was acting in that conversation. I was like, oh, it's just like, no. And then she said it, and I was like, yes.
And I don't think she was wrong. She is a lot like Nell.
She is. She's manipulative to get what she wants. She's obsessive about whatever man she's in love with. These are a lot of Nell traits she's got going on.
Absolutely. Now, Nell went about a more wicked way, but Willow...
Hey, Nell was fun.
Nell was fun. I loved Nell. I wish she would come back.
Well, you're never dead forever. It's a sin.
Yes. And I also love when Carly said, I stopped your sister and I will stop you. It was great.
She was just building up because she's so frustrated with Willow because everybody, like she says, everybody's bending over backwards to make things work. And Willow is just like, I'm going to do whatever I want, whenever I want. And Carly is so cool because she was just like, how are you going to explain this to your kids when they're old enough to understand what's happening?
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to explain to them that you left their father for their great uncle? How are you going to explain that to them?
Yeah.
And she's just like, they love Drew, blah, blah, blah. And I was like,
And when Drew said, well, why doesn't Michael stop hiding behind his mommy and come and fight for his kids? That pissed me off.
Yes, the guy that was almost burned to death and is in a burn ward getting grafts done on his skin. He's hiding behind his mommy at the hospital. Mm-hmm. Who are you? You're a coward who's hiding behind a woman who's brain damaged or something.
Somebody's brain damaged.
It's all of us.
So Nina has texted Jason at this point to come and get Carly SOS at Drew's.
Come and get your Carly. She's wilding out.
So Willow and Carly really get into it, and I forget what Willow said. She said something about Carla being self-dignacious or something like that, and Carly went to slap her, and Jason behind her and stopped her.
Yeah, he caught her just in time, but I kind of wish he hadn't. But, you know, You can't slap people in a modern world. It's charges. I did like that she accidentally dropped that she was in love with Drew in that conversation, because then the look she gave Drew was so calculated. It didn't seem like a, oh no, oops, I said that we were in love. It was more like, I said this on purpose to manipulate. That's just my opinion, but that's how it felt in the moment.
I kind of agree with you, yeah.
And then in my head, I was like, he's not the head of Dawn of Day. She is.
That would be a wild twist, and I'm here for that.
Wow. We'll see who's right. We'll start making bets on it soon. Guys, make bets on it in the comments.
Yeah, let us know what you think.
Who is the head of No, Nicole. I don't even know what the question would be.
Who is Drew? Is Drew really Drew? Like, let us know what you all think.
What do you think about Drew and where they're going with this?
Yes. And finally, I loved when Carly said that she's going to take Willow's kids from her and she's never going to see them again. So
love that for her. I do love that they did drop in the fact that she took AJ away from, like she took the kid away from AJ and made Sonny the father. So that was kind of a slap in the face for Carly, because she does feel guilty about that. Because she said earlier, a couple weeks ago when Jack was talking to her about how guilty she did have her child raised by a mob guy. He did get shot in the head and spend 3 years in a coma, so you should feel bad about it.
Yeah.
He was also blown up, and that's also Sonny's fault.
I mean, come on, raised by a Quartermain or a mobster? Like
Quartermain. You'll be. I know. Let me choose the millionaires who are a little quirky, or let me choose this murderer guy. And she's like, he's hot.
Right, why not?
And I'm just going to shove AJ down into an alley and dump a bunch of alcohol on him.
Yeah,
I remember great. Carly.
All right. Anything else to add? Anything I missed?
I don't think you missed much. I know that they keep showing that Kai and Trina are getting closer. They were actually making out in that scene that was interrupted. Right. Also, when Jocelyn came home and she walked in, they were also making out. So I guess they spent the whole day necking on the couch. Which good for them, by the way. At least somebody's having a good time.
Right.
It's funny. I don't like this distance that this is going to cause between Jocelyn and Trina, that she's got this secret life. And I really need Vaughn to stop saying stupid lines like, you're not a college student anymore. You're an agent pretending to be a college student. You're not a daughter anymore. You're a WSB agent pretending to be a daughter. I'm like, shut up. Shut up.
Vaughn.
Yeah, everything he says is stupid, pointless, and doesn't add to the plot. They could have just done all of this with Jack, and it could have been a more interesting mentoring situation where it was like that, more of a father-daughter, mentor-mentee situation, instead of this guy who eventually we're supposed to think is a good love interest, because he's not.
Yeah.
He sucks. So far, he sucks. And that's nothing on the actor. He's doing a good job of what they gave him.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm never talking about the actor. I'm only ever talking about characters. Unless the actor looks like they're having an incredibly good time, like I would say Mara West was having this week.
Yeah. All right. Well, we will head over to Patreon and we will pick our performers of the week.
Come with us.
And come with us, and we will speculate on storylines for the next week and the upcoming weeks. We'll also have a clip of the week to watch. So our clip of the week nominees this week are Ava blackmails Alexis, Alexis decides to commit Christina, and Carly and Willow's confrontation. So please join us and find out who won.
It was me. I won.